wish you all welcome to today's webinar. My name is Bernard Zenzerovic. I'm CEO of Croatian Hotel Association. This webinar today is being held as a part of EU-funded project Tourism for Zero Capacity Building and Peer Learning Transactional Supporting Scheme towards smart, innovative, and sustainable tourism. And this is a part of our project, which we have an educational program to support all the hospitalities SMEs. The topic of today's webinar you can see on our screen. Of course, the communication technologies and communication in our business is something which is rapidly evolving and changing from day to day, and influences the way we do our business now, and will definitely influence even more in the future. And this is one of the reasons why we have decided this to be the topic of our webinar. Our lecturer will be Professor Domagoj Bebić from University of Zagreb. And before I give the word to Professor Bebić, just a few technical informations. So the webinar is being recorded. The duration is planned for about approximately 50 minutes. Professor Bebić will have a lecture of about 45 minutes. And after that, we will have the Q&A session. Due to the reason that we are in the webinar mode of Zoom, I suggest that we use Q&A and chat options to ask your question. I can see that the colleagues have already started to use it in to inform me that I was muted. So this part is obviously working. So this is all from my side. Professor Bebić, the floor is yours. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Bernard. I will start the video now. Welcome to the webinar about new communication technologies in the tourism sector. My name is Domagoj Bebić. I teach at the Zagreb University at the Department of Strategic Communication. And my specialty is in strategic communication, but since I'm coming from the island of Hvar, which I don't know if you heard or not, but you should check it out. It's a very beautiful island, not because I'm coming from it, but it's a very popular touristic destination. And my work has been always connected with the tourism, because it is a small community, very heavily depending on the tourism, and especially in the usage of new communication technology. So we will start, and I will suggest that you, whenever you, thank you. I heard the comment about Hvar, beautiful place. Thank you. So when we will go through very different topics, so I suggest that whenever you hear something that that you want to discuss, just write a question, and we will do our best to answer it afterwards, because it is a busy sector. Communication and communication technologies have been a very dynamic sector in the last 100 years, at least, that we know of. Even some of the theories dating from the 50s are some of them are still relevant in the sector, and some are outdated, even if they are in the professional or scientific field for just 1 or 2 years. So it's a very, very dynamic space. But I wanted to discuss first the changes in the communication paradigm. We use the word paradigm shift whenever we want to avoid the word revolution, because it's actually a synonym. So it's actually the same thing. When everything, your opinion, the thesis about the whole communication or scientific sector changes, we call it revolution. But we want to avoid that word in the 21st century because it's very dynamic. So we are using the paradigm shift concept. So then we have digitalization and digital transformation dynamic which is very present, and it's constantly changing form. And we actually want to connect it to the COVID-19 pandemic, but actually the processes that were accelerated during the pandemic started even before that, and I will explain what is going on. Then the process which I really want to emphasize, because I think that with the development of the artificial intelligence, we will see more concepts of individualization and personalization of content spreading in the whole areas, especially in the tourism department. And of course, which we are witnessing since 2018, according to the Reuters News and Digital Media survey, we are seeing the dominance of the mobile devices. And so the very important thing that I want to start with is that whatever we are doing in the communication department, creating content or giving some kind of services online, we have to understand that users are choosing in those by themselves. So they choose if they want to use it or they not. So you have what we call in the professional department, we call them active publics. So you have to consider them having the liberty of which platform will they use, which actually means that you have to be multi-platform. I will start with the tourism and individual media diet. What is individual media diet? So we are here in the webinar, and since for the last, I don't know, for the last 7 days, we all had not similar or not similar media diet. So we used a lot of data. For example, for the younger generation, they use their content on their mobile phones from averaging from 6 to 10 hours per day. So we are in that ballpark from 4 hours daily to till 10 hours daily, which 10 hours daily really scares me a lot, but most of my students are using their mobile phones even with the standards of 12 hours per day if they're influencers, and this is their main work tool. And what I can surely tell you that not that our diet was different, but it was very, very individual. So it was completely different. So we have like, if we want to discuss something, you will have to show that content to someone else. If we are talking about, I don't know, WhatsApp groups, Viber groups, social media, Snapchat, and any other platform, you will have to show it to someone. This is why you see a lot of people showing their mobile phones to someone else, because they are showing them what they have been watching these last days. So because there's a lot of content out there, the time is limited and the attention is very short. And this is why we are talking about the individual media diet. And you cannot rely anymore on the shared material. That you cannot count that someone saw the same material as you did because you think it's good or not. If it's a good song, or it's some good viral about pets that are very popular, for example, on TikTok, or some good paper on tourism and media usage and stuff like that. So we have the concept of media diet, which is becoming more and more personal, and then you have to adopt to that kind of media diet in creating a personalized content, which maybe sometimes it's not easy because we used to call we used to have the term called publics, which we will like select like different scenarios of the usage of our social media and the usage of our, for example, web pages. And we would stick to those scenarios. Today, the situation is different. With the development of the new technologies, we are now approaching users in the different light. For example, if tourists are coming from different countries, you can adapt your website to be present in either in English if the website detect that someone can come to you, someone is coming to your website from different country, but the original is in your local language. You can even adapt the website if someone is coming from I don't know, South America, you can adopt it to either Spanish or Portuguese. So your website can actually tell which language the person, our active publics are, are speaking. So this is something when we are talking about this personal experience. I mean, in the tourism field, you had even previously, like if someone is really good in communicating, learning your skills, but it had to be how to say a live experience. And what we now experience with the process that we call Uberization, which actually the literature is saying that it came with Uber app, when a lot of people are using the Uber app in this example, but they have a personalized relationship with the app. So they are using it individually, but in a lot, in huge numbers. This is also a very important topics, because in the importance of the social network, you have to understand, and I will exaggerate a little bit, but not too much. So the social networks are actually dominating the media diet of people. In whichever combination, if you are using LinkedIn, or if you are using Instagram, or as younger generation are using TikTok, I mean, there are also new social media emerging every year, and but you have one, for example, ruler of them all. According to the latest data, the YouTube has an amazing number. So YouTube is the most dominant social media platform in the world. It has a lot of problems with the comments. So some of the people, and I mean, you can use that, but it's a little bit problematic with the publics when you turn off the comments. But YouTube is really dominating the space. They have a huge numbers when with the younger generation, when they have the answer to the question, which is the social network that you use constantly every day, and YouTube comes in top of that class. The other platform that has huge numbers, I mean, that are actually growing like crazy, especially in the marketing department, is TikTok and Snapchat. So we have the importance of the social network as a platform, of course. The second is creation of the viral content. Creation of the viral content, it actually became kind of art. And I listened to a lot of teachings by the tourism influencers and tourism YouTubers, and they are developing this, how to say, these skills year after year, and they really, with the comments that the publics are, their users are giving them, they're actually transforming their channels constantly. It is ever evolving platform, talking, seeing what is really important to people, changing, for example, maybe not changing the narrative, but changing, for example, the timage, and For example, I will give you one example. At the beginning of the YouTube podcast, you actually have to present yourself in first 5 minutes. So this is like a critical time for you to introduce to the new user or to a subscriber, because when as someone is watching your video, as long as he's staying on your video, you can, for example, from the 5th minute till the 20th minute, you have him. Because YouTube content is really immersive. It brings you in the narrative of the YouTube topic. The third thing that I want to say that I mentioned previously is the attention economy. So you have the your attention is, it has a lot of impulses. So the user experience attention has a lot of triggers all around them. So you need to expose a topic or a content for them which is interesting to them. And this is why you see, for example, in the YouTube videos I will mention first YouTube videos. The very important is the headline of the YouTube video, and it usually had something with the doomsday. If you don't watch this video about Buenos Aires, you will get lost. So something like that. Something has to be really capturing your attention. Second thing is on the side of the platforms, they have very developed algorithms, and I'm talking about namely Snapchat and TikTok. They can see in what kind of mood you are, what kind of content you prefer at that point in time, and so they are actually watching you and giving you content which is important to you at that point, which you will find interesting. And so you have to understand when you are creating content that the other side is actually how the other side is seeing it. I will stress one important thing. At the end of this presentation, we have the examples, and they are in the presentation. So even if we don't present the examples, you have them in the presentation material. So I don't worry about that, because there is some of you have examples of TikTok videos, you have examples of the Instagram statuses, like good practices example. You also have like one trend that some of the old media habits are actually dying off. Like at some point there were some panoramas very popular, destination reports, and some of them and of course reading a brochure, you have to understand how brochure was really important in the tourism sector. So I'm not saying, and I will never say that, because the media trends are actually take a long time till they are actually gone. So you can see it in the example of the telegram, which is still working in some areas of the world as we speak. I mean, the telegram or telegraph is just not technology that we are using as we did at the beginning of the 20th century. But it really takes, and it takes time, and some of those media are actually becoming an art. Like, for example, if we are talking about the industry of long playing records, which actually were like extinct, but now they're actually becoming popular in the music world because there is something with the special with that sound. So, but we have to understand one thing. They all need, when we are talking about the getting the attention, they all will say in the surveys that they need content that is exciting. That's the first place in the tourism department. If something is exciting, if it lifts them up. something that it came as a recommendation. In the digital world, recommendation can be if someone sends you a link about the destination, and it has to be creative. It has to attract your attention with the creativeness. So it can be either something of this, or it can be, you know, something that that falls within all of these three categories. When we are talking about the viral marketing in the professional world, we kind of now set the rules, but it's very hard in the changing environment. But in every strategy, you and all the digital strategies will tell you one thing: you have to define goals. So, and of course, which is very important in communication overall, is how to measure success, because it is not the same thing. For example, if you're creating a viral campaign or something within your marketing, digital marketing strategy, there are several things that you can be successful in. But you will have to, especially for the creative department, now you have like different tools to come to those goals. So you have to define the goals, and you will measure the success of the campaign as the way as that digital content achieve that goal, because it is a very competitive ground. What the actually professionals are saying from the very beginning, that you have to create content worth sharing. And so social media usage, as I was saying in the previous slide, it is very hard as the scene is getting complicated, because the Facebook and the TikTok, they have a very different language. So you have to use several, I don't know, agencies. I mean, especially if you're a small company and you have to use them all. And I think I will have some questions about that in the Q&A sector. So if not, I will remember those. As whatever you do, be authentic. There always have to be some call for action. And, you know, like, and as I'm saying, you have to understand, as attention get atomized, that's actually a professional expression for it, atomization of everything, atomization of public. You need a huge amount of luck or money, which I think luck is much more important to succeed. And I want to stress how to lower the amount of the luck that you need. First is, and I have always a lot of questions about usage of influencer in tourism. Influencers are very critical. They are very easy to criticize, because you look when we are talking about influencers, what are they good for? It depends. It depends what kind of public that does that influencer have. Is it that, and we talked about the goal in the previous slide. If their goals are matching yours, so for example, if you are into family tourism, and if this influencer is talking about families with children, then that is your influencer. You cannot generalize about the whole population of influencers, because maybe some party destination influencer is not good influencer for you. So you have to strategize, of course. And also, you have to understand if that influencer has interaction or attention of the markets which are interesting to you. So, but you have to understand that when we are talking about the marketing potential, they have really an indispensable way of promoting a particular service and destination. I was actually working on some projects when the tourism players were actually kind of freaked out when they were suggested that we should use influencers, but they were actually very, very happy with the results because it matched their goals. So this is what you have to understand. So it's not like you're using all of the influencers, but the influence is good for you. And in my experience, those influencers which were used in this campaigning that I'm talking about were very, very hardworking people. This is my experience. And you have to understand that the media logic of today is simply very different from what, if we are talking about the marketing concepts of the, I don't know, live TV or something. It really works in some departments like sports, but it doesn't work in the tourism communication. But especially when you are talking about cooperation with someone else in the marketing department, and I really want to when we are talking about the making your potential bigger in the marketing sector, feel free to cooperate with the companies which operate on the same field, on the same level, because it can bring you a bigger audience. So you have to, of course, consider that within your goals and stuff like that. But it is it really brings remarkable success. If I would have to stress ideal platforms for creating viral content, then I will have to emphasize TikTok and Instagram, because their potential, with the content that you create. I mean, we were doing a campaign of it is in Croatian. It is a kind of local campaign, but it's reached 6 million viewers per video in no time, which was really an impressive number for me. You cannot reach that, like organically on any other platform. Well, maybe LinkedIn, but this is not the it's more business to business platform. What is the popular form? So if you have to short your communication activities, what would I recommend? I will recommend creating short, striking, and dynamic videos, because it really can tell a story. Short videos can tell a story. For example, if there used to be an industrial video of your destination from, I don't know, 5, 10 to 15 minutes 10 years ago, you can now put it in a TikTok or Reel video, which is up to a minute, but I would suggest like 30 seconds. So this is like, and it's usually, although we actually, how to say, we actually knew that these short videos are coming when we saw the trends, but it's actually a material that is disappearing. So you have to be prepared that some of your marketing potential is actually in the content which is actually disappearing, like Instagram stories and stuff like that. So creating Instagram locations, and YouTube is great platforms about tourism, because people are watching a lot of YouTube videos, whatever it is. It can be, I don't know, a short video, or it can be even something which came with the HD televisions, that people, for example, if they want to escape for that afternoon on some destination, they will play a video of, I don't know, walk through Porto, for 6 hours. Just you're walking through Porto streets. These contents are very popular if they are in the HD. So when we're talking about even newer developments in the sector, so we kind of talked about the trends in the social media that we all know. But as I mentioned, the individual guide, you have to even understand that people are using different technology to create what we call an online tribe. So a lot of persons, if we talk about the personalization, a lot of individuals in the world are interested in crypto. Actually, they are huge believers in crypto. For example, I don't know if you know anything about crypto, but if you have like 3 colleagues in your company, you will have crypto enthusiasts, crypto, I don't know, non-aligned people who really don't know the subject, they don't care about it, and you have people who think that the crypto is a scam or whatever. But the people in the crypto believers tribe, they are really into it. So they are listening to they are very informed about the is your destination I don't know, crypto friendly and stuff. And as soon as you offer them something in that space, they are very intrigued by your destination, or they at least know it. And with the adoption of crypto technologies in the world, or blockchain technology overall, a lot of bloggers in that space, or Twitter accounts, they are actually talking about the adoption in different countries. So if you if you are crypto friendly in any way, you can choose the level of crypto friendliness. You are actually approaching to one very specific tribe, online tribe. I was talking about the virtual reality and some of the concepts where people are actually approaching your destination before they are coming. They come to your destination. They use VR glasses to see what they can expect from your destination, and they have a lot of videos like that. If you didn't provide it for them, someone already did, or you can provide them some of the, I don't know, different look on your destination if you create virtual reality video. So this is also a very specific niche. I don't know if you belong to it or not, maybe how much do you know about it, but you have to understand that alone in the United States, like 2 years ago, that was the #1 present for Christmas for the younger generation. Last Christmas, it was at #2. So you have to understand that this tribe is growing. I mean, if you're not part of it, there is a virtual reality tribe. And this is actually very connected with the augmented reality sector, which is actually gives you an extra information about the destination when you are at the spot. So you have even if you're using, I don't know, codes at the destination, if you're using like some kind of guest satisfaction in the form of QR codes, if you're giving additional information, what should people use that day? It is also slightly changing, but we will talk about that later. And with all the developments in that sector, it is still developing, but we can see a lot of innovation in this sector. It also is connected with the trend that we talk about. It is connected with the VR Googles. You have like digital environment places which are also connected with tourism, and we have to understand that it's also a place of social interactions. And it's an older trend. It used to be popular like in the Sims era, if someone is remembering those platforms, but it now has that how to say, unrealized potential. But you always have to understand one thing, as the same as the developments in the AI, someone is investing a huge amount of money in that space, and so something will come out of it. I don't know if that will be a revolution or not, but it certainly will be immersive for different groups. And you will have to understand how crazy numbers are when we are talking about younger generation, and I'm talking about the teens age, when we are having a dramatic usage of technology. I mean, if someone is here in the webinar audience, a parent, then you know that as a parent, there is a constant fight with devices, with smartphones, always a fight. So because it's so immersive for the younger generation and are spending more and more time. So I don't know, will the trend of metaverse be alive in 10 years or not? Will it become some kind of revolution, but will always be connected somehow to the tourism? And I can give you an example of that specific. But it's a very important platform to connect with the potential audiences if there is if they have the bigger numbers. So in connection with the blockchain technology, you have a art form called NFT that it's actually acronym for non-fungible token, and it's a piece of art, digital piece of art, which has the kind of uniqueness, and they have a price in the crypto market, and people are trading those NFTs depending on the, of course, prices and how interesting some of those NFTs are. So we have trends of the NFT drops when someone unloads a huge number of NFTs to a digital platform. And so if someone has their mobile phone or any device at your destination and you have NFT drop off, then people are actually, it's a very popular form in the NFT community to immerse the potential tourist at your destination. So if you want to know more about that, we can discuss it, but it's kind of a reward for someone that came to your destination. It used to happen even before. I mean, if you remember in those days with the I don't know, Foursquare check-ins or Facebook check-ins, if you check into our hotel, you will get, I don't know, 10% off something, coffee or some whatever. It works like that because it gives you the attention, especially when Facebook was more organic platform than paid platform, which is not anymore. So you have to pay for the attention on the Facebook platform. You also, with all of these trends that we talked about, I mean, if you're talking about touristic platform, if you talk about these trends that we mentioned, NFTs, metaverse, augmented reality, virtual reality, crypto tourism, you can connect them or not with the trend of gamification, which is actually people are finding gaming experience on their mobile phones very, very popular, especially because they're spending the time on their mobile phones anyway. They do spend it. So if and this goes especially for the crypto platforms or for touristic platforms, if you spend more time on their app, on your app, you can actually have a more of media attention of your potential client. And it has to a lot with the creating a personalized experience for a specific user, and it creates develops a great communication and marketing opportunity. So if someone feels, I don't know, bad about the gamification trend, I'm telling you, it's already there. So people, most of the companies are using it, even for a free coffee, a discount. Freebies and discounts are amazingly popular. You have to understand this, especially in the touristic sector. They are very, very so huge discounts, huge. You know, if something is free, it's attracting attention. So you have to understand it. So if you do it fun, if you do it with the engagement and the activity, you have to understand that that the other side is using those practices. Even the banks today are using those practices in the in the financial sector, which we call we are calling fintech. So I have the examples of the good practice, but I will go through them. And because I want you to use them yourself, I mean, if you start to click on the links, I had them prepared, but I would really gladly go to the Q&A part of the presentation, but I want to skim through. So you have the Instagram and influencer examples. So I put some of the local examples here for Croatia, which I knew that they are working. Especially, we have the influencer, Croatian influencer Ela Dvornik. So she can, with her Instagram post, she can sell out the whole hotel in one afternoon, which I saw a lot of examples of, especially if we are having a long weekend or something like that. So you have a lot of touristic TikTok examples, especially there is one gaming example of the popular game. It is a kind of 5-minute example, which are those contents are not very popular. It's a very long content for TikTok, but that nevertheless it tends to keep your attention because it's a family thing. So it's a family communication. So I put even 2 video examples of the YouTube communication. It's actually representing Croatia from the user experience. And you have one shorter and one longer example to see how does that work with your publics, because maybe older publics would prefer something longer. But nevertheless, if you are creating YouTube content, you have to understand that what we call almighty algorithm is not satisfied until you make the longer forms, and then if you create YouTube shorts. So you have to understand how the algorithm works. You have to appeal to the algorithm. So this is actually a job of the someone who is working in the tourism department in connection with the social media spaces. When we are, you can go through the presentation and you will understand more about usage of a specific cards being distributed to their users because they were using Twitter. Twitter was a different platform back then, but it will develop in a also more professional manner. And then you will have a campaign from the Hawaii Tourist Board, which was a campaign specifically created for Instagram. So you have a specific campain for the specific platform. It cannot be like one campaign with the different outputs. It can, but it doesn't have to be, because these platforms are having very, very different public. You have also campaigns from the I don't know, Turkish Airlines here. And then with the developments in the Iceland is very creative in using some concept that people are talking about, like metaverse. They actually made a campaign about what they call the Icelandverse, which I really want you to see. Then it's also campaign from the Emirates. Then Korea, which used the K-pop as the driver of their for their views. Then you have some of the games that we're using into in the virtual space. Like this is from Split from the Croatian Dalmatia County. It's a project when you have the digital version of the palace. used in the Sandbox platform, which we talked about. Sandbox is a project in Metaverse, and of course they dropped on those specific locations Dalmatian NFT. So it was a project from Split and Dalmatia County Tourist Board, and it was very successful with the tourists. So we are moving to Q&A. Thank you for your attention. I skimmed briefly through the examples so we can talk more about that. So I'm open for your Q&A.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Bebić, and I also invite all the participants to start the Q&A session. We have a chat Q&A, or you can even raise hand. I can see that we can allow you to talk here. Thank you for your presentation. The format of our education, it's a short one, like for 45 minutes. But we will, for all the participants who applied, we will share with them your presentation, so they will be able to check all the examples that are in there. I just want to open the Q&A session. Want to ask one thing which was not into the presentation as a new channel, but it will definitely, I think, influence all the channels, and that are all the things which are happening with the new artificial intelligence, the ChatGPT, and the other tools. What's your perception about these new tools? How will they be influencing the communication? Will they become platforms? Just some overview on all of these developments.
I mean, on the long run, no one really knows. I mean, what we can, but what we do know is, for example, when we talked about a lot of these platforms, examples that we could see in the AI development, we could see that you now can manage a lot of platforms. So the AI can save you time. If you are writing posts for different platforms, they can help you with that. They can help you a lot with your marketing strategies, writing them, of course, because it takes time. It can inspire you to move the communication in some direction. But in my opinion, and maybe we will not see it this summer, but the next summer, definitely, it will be a part of the personalized experience. So we'll be able to use the AI tools to personalize experience of the people who are using your digital content. Let me give you an example. So if your hotel, or if your whatever, yeah, is using, like, you're using, of course, reception desks for questions, but you can also build a personalized platform within your website where you can train your AI to answer a specific questions about your hotel. So when is the breakfast, when is, all of those questions, when is the checkout, and stuff like, you can train the chatbot, and then you can put it on your mobile application or your mobile website. So people can interact actually with your hotel on the personalized level. They can get out, and you get also the very valuable data. What people are actually using.
Great, thank you. Because this occurred to me. We just had a great webinar last week about this topic, when there was a huge interest, and this is definitely will be affecting not just communication, but probably some other parts of our life. I see that we have one question. Domagoj, can you see the Q&A so I don't have to read it? But I will read it for the for the audience, where thank you, Pedro, where to get started on NFT gifts, any direction or useful resources to get started. Thank you, Pedro.
Well, thank you very much, Pedro, for your question. And it is actually a great question, because you have different ways of answering this. Like, for example, you have specialized companies who do everything for you. So it's plug and play. So you tell them your goal, and they are doing this like a service, right? But if you have some enthusiast, I mean, at this point, not or professional in your company, or you are an enthusiast, you can actually build the whole thing on the ChatGPT, for example, platform. So you can actually chat with the language model, and it can give you it can give you like it can lead you from the point 1 to point 100. It takes time, but it's not something that it's something doable. You can do it, for example, in a day or two, because and I saw a lot of videos. For example, people who never had an experience of creating a touristic video, never had an experience of creating avatar, never had experience of creating a video game. So game, it was actually a platformer. So it was kind of a Mario Brothers, a Nintendo platform, but it was a actually very good game for someone who never created the game. So you have solutions, because there are a lot of international companies who are working on these projects. But in my experience, the best thing is to take local guys, because they are very enthusiastic, because they know they have the combination of the technical knowledge and the local knowledge, how to use something in a very specific way. But you can actually do it yourself with the developments in the communication department. So we have the other question: is there a platform like Hubspot Pro, but not so expensive, you can recommend to control social media? I mean, you know how it is. I mean, I would be probably wrong to say you anything else, but I mean, the amount of money actually gives you a more liberty in using these platforms, as you do know. You always have like a combination of free tools, but it actually never, I mean, this is my experience, and I'm talking about working with a professional for, you know, like 20 years now, and all the platforms were changing, and you had different platforms using different social medias and stuff. But in the end, you always have to pay for, and this is the something that I will tell you in my webinars about using specific social media platforms. I will always recommend you to go to professional version of the software, because you have then you have the, how to say, the control, and then you have someone to talk about from the technical part of support that you feel most convenient when answering questions and stuff like that. So in my experience, I mean, even if you are talking about platforms like Tinder, there is always suggestion in the videos like use the pro version. So that is my experience.
Thank you for this. This is the two questions that we got from Q&A. So I invite colleagues for to ask if they have any additional questions. One thing that just occurred in my mind, seeing all the information, all the platform that you have showed us, it's skills, of course, because we know that we have like a skills shortage in our day-to-day operations in the tourism, hospitality, hotels, agencies. But what about these areas which are evolving so fast and so rapidly? Like you said at the beginning, it's now almost like some things which are in the AI world, 10 days are basically old now. How to handle all of this in hospitality sector? Of course, the part where we are talking now will be involved for the marketing department, sales, communications, but also all the other departments of our industry.
Well, as I told you in the beginning of this webinar, there is also one part of the literature that never gets old. So you have even literature from user experience from I don't know 50 years ago, which still somehow works, because it's not just about the technical platforms, it is also about human psychology. So I agree. So I mean, I'm teaching social media, new media, digital media, but the concept of human psychology, even maybe it's going faster, maybe it's going digital, but some of the user experience stuff never gets old, and people's reaction with the new technology. So you have there is actually, there was a trend, there is a trend, not so much, it's also a tribal thing. The people who are when going on holidays, they tend to leave their mobile phones behind. It's not a huge group, but you can leave them in the hotel. But the other, especially younger generation, they are experiencing the destination with their mobile. So you have very, very different tribes, but it was always kind of the a psychology thing. I mean, you can, for example, talk when people, younger generations were experiencing the civilization with the rock music, if you want to put it that way. So with the popular music, with the popular media content. So this is the part of the movement. So you have older things that are working, and of course constant complaining about the usage of technology, but the usage of technology actually works. So this is something we will not avoid. And there are a lot of YouTubers who they're actually talking about the trends in communication, not just in the touristic sector, but overall the communication trends. And you have to understand, trend is something that we scientifically watch. But it's something, I don't know, like very chic for 1 year, like some kind of Instagram filter or a TikTok filter, which tend to go very, very popular. Like there was a huge popularity of the beauty filter on TikTok like 2 months ago. No one talks about it anymore. So it's not very popular anymore. Now you have something else. So, and you will have something else in the future. So you have to follow trends. You have to see what is going on and use them in your communication, even if you don't find them that, how to say, that appealing. But you can talk about that they are not appealing. I mean, the popularity of the beauty filter was people were putting beauty filter on TikTok videos, talking about how that it's dreadful filter, but it actually gained a global popularity in a week. And people are not saying, look at this cool filter, but they were saying, look at this terrible filter. So this was like something that I never saw in communication before.
So you need to have haters to be popular in today's world. Haters.
Well, there is a saying, if you have haters, there is something I learned for gaming. If I'm meeting the enemies, then I'm going the right way.
Great. Thank you. I don't see any more questions. Ibala Ruiz thanked us for your answer and for wonderful meeting. And we have a little bit go beyond our planned timelines. And considering we don't have any more questions, I would like Domagoj to thank you for being with us, for sharing your experiences and insights. And of course, I would like to thank also all the participants who've been with us from Malta, Italy, Spain, Portugal, and Croatia. I hope I didn't forget anybody. Domagoj, maybe a last word from your side.
Well, I know that if we meet 1 year from now, we will talking about different stuff. But we are following the trends. We are continually talking about. We are experimenting with them, seeing what is working. Something is working. Something is not working. But tourism is definitely an area where people love to use innovations, because people from the, I don't know, huge emissive markets are coming with their media habits, and you have to, of course, give them any content that they are using. Or, you know, if your if your tourists are coming from Australia, if they're coming from New York, you have to see what kind of media habits people from New York have, or something like that. And I would love to say at the end of it that it's always a pleasure, and thank you for sharing your questions. And I would love to thank the organizers for giving me a chance to talk about this subject. Thank you very much.
Thanks to everybody once more. And with Domagoj, these last words, we say goodbye to you, and we wish you a pleasant rest of the day. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.